Welcome back. I've had a lot of questions as we're all preparing for 0.3 and I wanted to answer as many as possible. In 0.3, much will change, so check up-to-date guides after the launch for accurate planners. This is still experimental. It is important we stay at 10 stacks during the campaign. We need a unique item to go uncapped. The changes do make us weaker early, but with items we can be just as powerful. We can use any spells we like during leveling. Chaos Dots should be in a good spot for us, but there are other options. Fireball and Frost Wall may be usable, if we can generate remnants with Solar Orb and Snap. Depending on which level we unlock the Ravenous Swarm gem, it could be usable at the same time as Bone Storm, which is gem tier 5, or level 14, just before the count in Act 1. We want to be checking the shop for any item with life regeneration. As we see here, they will be highlighted. Rings that grant resistances are also very valuable during the campaign. I'll be looking for armor bases, because most of the monsters and bosses deal physical damage. We can easily negate a lot of damage by simply choosing armor, and we already make this decision for elemental resistances. The most important thing to look for is life regeneration. This is what will keep us at full life during the campaign. The amount needed does sharply increase at higher levels, but early on, it is manageable. If you are struggling to find items with life regeneration, a different approach is to take life on kill nodes early. Then when we have enough strength and percentage life regeneration, we can passively restore the life loss without any items. We can progress up to tier 15 maps without ever raising our stacks beyond 10. At level 33 we can wear Mask of the Stitched Demon. It is the best option for leveling and it can be viable in endgame, though it does lack some defensive options. With the mask, we can also use Mind over Matter, Life and Mana Recoup, Life and Mana on kill, and a curse like Enfeeble or Temporal Chains. At level 68, the Sacrosanctum Armour can be used to recoup both life and energy shield. If we are playing as a demon, we will want to use the Innsmouth Helmet and Loctonial Caress Gloves to reduce our total flame and generate more recoup. If we are not playing as a demon, we do not want to reduce our mana. At level 60, we can also kill the Eater of Worlds in a corrupted nexus to get the Gnashing Sash belt, which is another great option. If we are playing in SSF, or it's the first day of the league, these options are not available to us. Instead, we can rely on our skill tree and NPC vendors to boost our life regeneration. We stay at 10 stacks during the campaign, so choosing Bringer of Flame lets us ignite. I would then wait until our third ascendancy before going to Bay Darts, and refund the Bringer of Flame. I've included these options in the planners. If we stick with 10 stacks, the Chaos spells are going to be a reliable choice, especially in the new league, where Contagion will take care of any monsters jumping out the abyss. If we can generate fire infusions with Solar Orb and Snap, Fireball and Mana Tempest may be a strong option early on. We'll also take advantage of the new Sanguimantic rituals notable, gaining Arcane Surge on crit, or when we spend 100% of our mana with respective spells. We also struggle to use Infernal Flame with Mask of the Stitched Demon, because the high energy shield deals too much damage to us. For Recoup, we can use the Frostbolt and Snake Pit setup, Ball Lightning and Lightning Warp, Detonate Dead and Comet, any skill we like. Detonate Dead is another high mana spender, so is good to use for Recoup, and can be combined with minions as well as Comet or other triggered spells. We can also combine the Gnashing Sash belt with either setup. This is going to be one of the best belts on demon form, for a higher chance to get it. Craft tablets which have a bonus to the quantity and rarity of map bosses, and use them on the Nexus. There's going to be a lot to choose from with all the options we have, but there are some considerations. We are allowed unlimited support gems, but we are limited to only one skill gem. This means one cast on crit, or cast on ailments. Though we can have one of each, just not any duplicates. Instead, we must use a combination of the 6 meta gems we will have. Cast on ailments, cast on critical, cast on dodge, cast on Minion Death, elemental invocation, and barrier invocation. The infusion mechanic has been added, and now we are able to spawn elemental remnants. The easiest way seems to be with Snap, which can be used on any orbs, or enemies afflicted by an elemental ailment, any of which causes a remnant to spawn of the corresponding element. If we are able to self-cast Snap with Unleash, Cascade, and Echo, along with one of the elemental orbs, either Solar Orb, Frost Bomb, or Orb of Storms, then we can cast Snap to generate multiple remnants, assuming the orb will not be consumed by Snap. We can still use Frostbolt to freeze enemies. Our cast on ailments will trigger and spawn remnants, while our elemental invocation activates every 2 seconds, consuming the remnants we picked up to infuse a spell like Frost Dart. Cast on Crit can also be used to amplify damage on single targets with Comet. We can combine many different skills, especially with all the new infusions. It will be fun to test them all, particularly with Sire of Shards. There have also been some new additions to the patch notes since we last covered them. Demon form now has less life loss beyond level 20. I think it implies the gem will now scale above 20. Hopefully we get more power in return. Dark Effigy and Profane Ritual also got nerfed as a late addition. The Toxic Domain gem may also help us by providing more life regeneration, or increased costs for more recoup. I'll be starting Contagion with Flame Wall. We get Essence Drain and Enfeeble with Decaying Hex after level 6, and at level 14 we pick up Bone Storm. We can try Fireball early, with Solar Orb Weapon Swap. I may wait until Mana Tempest is unlocked at level 22, or even Frost Wall at level 31. This is because before using Fireball, we need to have Black Flame Covenant unlocked, which is basically resistance penetration for our Fireball. At level 31 we'll have all the spells. So long as we can generate fire infusions consistently, I'll use Fireball until I can get a Sacrosanctum Armour. At that point, we can start to use Recoup. We can then go for cast on Crit Comet, with Detonate Dead, Frostbolt, Arc, or any of the new elemental spells. Even cast on Crit and Lightning Warp can be used, which is what I will play with. Since making this video, another update was added. We can't use Snap on orbs, but we can on Frostbolts. We'll see how this goes with the new Frost Dart, but for Fireball, we have to use Living Bomb. It might be okay if we combine it with our Chaos Dots. Hopefully they trigger Living Bomb for us. These planners and guides should be taken with a pinch of salt. Once we can all play, I'll be able to share more with you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the Abyss. Take care, everyone.